Okay, so welcome to the STAR Method. My name is Star Malone. I am a financial strategist and the founder of She Building Her. I'm happy to have you here to give you a quick walkthrough of the STAR Method, our bi-monthly stock investment report. I'm going to just go ahead and highlight some of the features of the report and just give you an overall understanding of what you can expect while using the report and kind of really how to best utilize it to have a complete investment strategy with this report. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to jump right in here. Okay, so this is the STAR method. We are currently on volume 6. Basically, the STAR method is released every other month. So it'll get released one month, and then the next month, which is a blank, like a gray date for us, we'll have a conference call, right? So it goes, the STAR method is released one month, the next month all of the subscribers get together, we have an audio only conference call, then the following month another report is released, and then the following month we have another conference call just to kind of discuss this current stock picks, why I picked them, what's in there, how it's going, all the good stuff, right? And so let's jump right in. This is just all the legal stuff that lets you know that the STAR method is basically for information purposes only, right? Like, I am not expecting, you can decide to accept or decline any information that's in here. Past results is not indicative of future results, all that good stuff. This is just all the legal stuff to let you know that you have free will. Just because I said it, you do not have to do it. This is our table of contents. And it just basically gives you a breakdown. When I initially launched this report, it was like 4 pages long. It was definitely a less is more approach to investing. Over time, I really listened to the subscribers, and I just added different things to make the report more full, to kind of cater to different people's learning styles, different things like that. And so I added the table of contents. As the report grew, I had to, add this here to let you know what's in here. So these are all the sections that we'll go over really quickly, just to kind of let you know what it looks like. So it's just a welcome for me to let you know who I am. I'm a boy mom. I have 2 sons. I'm an HBCU grad. I'm a full-time entrepreneur, so this is not like a side thing for me. I'm almost 2 years into She Building Her, so I took the leap from corporate America into business ownership in 2019. And so I'm kind of like fresh in the entrepreneur space, but it's been everything that I expected it to be, and a whole lot of what I didn't expect it to be. I'm a native of California, so I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I'm degreed as a microbiologist. So I came from corporate, and my title there was a biopharmaceutical microbiologist, which is why I started my investment journey actually buying pharmaceutical companies. That was like the first thing that I started investing in, because most people, I always suggest the first stocks that you should invest in are going to be companies that you know and use and love, right? So you don't have to get like confused. Is this a good buy? Is it not? It's a good buy because you buy the products, right? And if you're gonna spend your hard-earned money on it, that means the company is obviously doing something right. So as She Building Her, our mission is to help women create easy to implement strategies to dominate their personal finances and the stock market. We encourage women to approach money as their most authentic selves instead of trying to fit within society's mold of what prosperity is supposed to be. A key component of our mission is to facilitate the healing process between women and their relationship with money. We always see, like, every time, like if you think back, every stock market movie that you ever seen, every Wall Street picture, if you Google stock images of Wall Street, like it's always going to be a gray suit. Usually it's going to be like a white man. That's usually what you see. And they kind of push this agenda almost that this is what wealth and prosperity and investing in Wall Street is, right? Whereas it's not true, right? Because we're all on this call and we're all investors. We're all on this call and we're all investors. So obviously Wall Street has a few more colors and shades and curves than they're trying to lead us to believe. And so my whole point of saying that is that we have to be authentic to ourselves and who we are when we approach money and when we approach investing, instead of trying to fit into whatever this gray suit, you know, paper slinging Wall Street guy's vision of Wall Street and investing is. Okay, so the overview of the STAR method is just a go-to guide for stock investment strategies. For the longest term time, I had two groups of women. I had the women who wanted to know everything about investing and how stocks worked and how to read a chart and how to know if it's a good price and every single thing about investing. And then I had the ones that was like, listen, I'm over this. I don't even really want to know that much about stocks. I just want to make sure that I'm doing the right thing with my money. So can you please just tell me how to do it or what to buy? Those are the two women that I came across. And then even after the woman who wanted to learn everything, I taught her all this stuff. She was like feeling the whole like being immersed in the investment space for a couple of months. And then she came back and said, all right, look, I'm comfortable investing now. I know what to look for. I get it, but I still don't want to track all these companies and stocks. Can you tell me what to invest in? And so that's how the STAR method was born. It was like, okay, so obviously I need to fill this need, because even if they understand it or if they don't understand it, it boils down to, I don't have time for this. Tell me what to buy. So this was me filling that need. Okay. This report again it's kind of boring. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's boring because it's not a million different stock picks. It's not a million different companies. It's not highlighting all this, you know, glitter and stuff that you see through social media when it comes to stock market investing. It's really kind of like, hey, a lot of months we're buying more of the same stocks that we've already purchased. Why? Because I don't want you to be an investor that has one share of this, one share of that, one share of this. I want you to get to the point where you have 10, 15, 30 shares of different companies. And that's how you really build up a portfolio. And so I find that, you know, when I say that to people, it seems overwhelming because it's like, wow, how am I ever going to get to 30 shares of one company, let alone 30 shares of multiple companies? It's like, hey, Rome wasn't built in a day, right? You don't do it at one time, you do it over time. And the key is understanding, hey, this month, the price is good to buy more of that thing that I bought 3 months ago, right? And this month is good to buy more of this other thing that I bought 6 months ago, right? Because every single month the price changes and it may or may not be at a good price to buy. But the point of the report is to let you know, hey, sometimes we're buying the same stuff, right? We're buying the same stocks, and that's totally cool because we want you to build upward. Also, we want you to build this way so that we're not only in tech, we're not only in consumer goods, we are diversifying as we go. We're diversifying with companies who feel the need of the future, and we're diversifying with companies who have proven in the past to be really stable and profitable companies. And so all of that magic is happening right inside of this report. So this is a roadmap, right? Because the report grew and I needed you to understand this is the best way to use it. And so basically from 1 to 6, you're going to complete your setup, which we'll go over. You're going to watch the videos that I have linked in here. You're going to set up your account if that's what you need to do. You're going to determine your investment style. You're going to buy the stocks that's listed in the report. You're going to attend the conference call, and you can join the affiliate program if that's something that you choose to do, right? It's just like a little bit of a very passive income. I know a lot of times people, well, I'll talk about that later down the line. And so this is just a roadmap and what to expect within the report, right? So this is the first step. This is watch these videos, and this is kind of what you'll need. So this is a welcome to tell you, hey, this is what the report is. This is what investing is like. This is what to expect. These are some extra tips that you can kind of follow during your journey, because sometimes your brain will talk you into like overthinking scenarios. And sometimes I just got to wheel you guys back. I'm like, listen, you're about to talk yourself off the ledge. I need you to come back with the rest of us and just do this. And so these are just some extra tips and things to keep in mind while you're on your journey, so that you don't just go off on a tangent and completely overwhelm yourself. This one here is just about brokerage accounts. I get a lot of questions. Do you suggest I open up an account with this company, this company, this company? This is just overall, whatever company you choose, this is what it should have. Okay. These are the features it should have. These are the fees that it should have or not have. This is just tips on a brokerage account in general. I also put a link here. I have like a little affiliate link for one of my favorite, like easy to use brokerages. I think it just has a really easy interface. And so it may not be the brokers that you're going to use forever, but it's really easy to look at as a beginner, which is like TD Ameritrade. Love them. I have a lot of my stuff with them. But when I first entered their sphere of looking at I was like, what? How do I get here? I just want to see this. Like, this is too much. And so I like kind of like easy to use kind of things, right? So that's basically just a breakdown of the stuff that you'll need, the introduction. This one is our investment terms. I added this, and the only one that actually changes on this whole entire page is the featured highlight. So this month is value stock, right? And so I just give you a breakdown. In the stock market, the equivalent of a stock being cheap or discounted is when its shares are undervalued, making it a value stock, right? Value stocks are publicly traded companies trading for relatively cheap valuations relative to their earnings and long-term growth potential. That means that they make the money, they're growing well, they look like they're going to be growing for a long time, but for some reason, the stock right now costs lower than it should, right? And it's not due to any fault of the company. So the company is not going through bankruptcy or has any kind of big scandal going on. Perhaps, like we're experiencing right now, what we talked about a little bit ago, is maybe there's a natural market correction going on, right? Maybe the industry that the company is in has been hit by some unforeseen circumstance, and it creates a scenario which a company is being traded or purchased and sold at a value, a lower value than it should be. So this month is value stock. I think we had like bull market, bear market, some other ones in previous reports, but this is the only one that changes. These down here are really to help you with the cadence of the report, because I have a section called Where Are They Now, which I'll get to, but in there you'll see they're tagged buy, hold, sell, or sell at a half. And I really wanted you to understand and know, if I have sell at a half, you can look back and say, oh, what the hell is she talking about? Oh, she means literally sell half of the shares that I own, right? Sell it means sell it. Hold it means I'm not buying any more of this company. I'm not selling the company. I'm just going to hold it and not do anything with it, right? So that's what this whole breakdown is for. Sometimes the lingo in the stock market gets crazy and it's convoluted and it's just ridiculously hard to follow. So sometimes you just got to break it down to regular English. So this is investment style. So you'll find that there are different types of investors, right? So there'll be long-term investors, options traders, day traders, swing traders, short sellers, right? All these different types of investors. But even when you go to just long-term investors, there are different types of long-term investors. Some people only purchase, dividend companies who pay dividends, right? They're income investors. They want the money every 3, 6, or 12 months. Some people strategically purchase companies so that they are getting dividend payments every single month, like an extra check every month, right? I told you guys a story one time about my aunt. It blew my mind. It was so simple, but just so brilliant at the same time. She has rental, income properties, and she invests enough in dividend paying companies to pay her $1,200 per year in dividends, right? The reason she specifically wants $1,200 per year in dividends is because the property tax that she has to pay on her income property is $1,200 per year, right? The home is paid off, but she still has to pay the taxes every year, and it's $1,200. And so when she told me, like, yeah, I invest enough to make sure I'm getting $1,200 in dividends per year so that those dividends can pay for the taxes on my rental property, I was just like, it's just really like, wow, like it's so simple, but like, wow, the strategy. So some people I don't know. It was very simple, but I was like, wow, that's like a little boss move right there. I like that. So some people invest specifically because they want the dividend. Some people invest only in ETFs, right? If you haven't heard me explain what an ETF versus a stock versus an index fund is, just look at any of my earlier Instagram TV videos and you'll see. But basically an ETF is an exchange traded fund, right? And what it does is it's like a basket that houses a bunch of companies that have in the same industry, right? So you can have an ETF that only has airline companies in it. And so instead of buying an individual stock inside of any of those airline companies, you can buy an individual share of the ETF. And it basically allows you to own a little bit of all the airline companies instead of an individual airline company, right? So some people are ETF investors, like, period. They want to diversify. They have different industries, but they only buy ETFs for technology, for consumer goods, for automotive, for travel, for pharmaceutical, for cannabis. Like, they find the ETF for everything that they want to invest in, and they do not purchase individual companies, right? Some people only buy growth stock or value stock. I am usually between a value and a growth stock kind of person. Lately, I have been moving more heavily onto the growth side, because although value is good and I still obviously purchase, I am also looking for the big money, right? I want the big risk, big reward. That's just how I'm feeling in my spirit. So I have been heavily investing in growth stocks, and a growth stock is a company that usually does not pay any dividends at all, but they have a really high probability of growing quickly. And because your piece of the company, right, your share goes up in value when the company goes up in value. If you have a growth stock and you buy a share when the company is valued at, $1 million, and now all of a sudden this company is valued at $100 million, the value of your one share is also going to 10x, right? So I like growth stocks because you typically will create a scenario in which you have a lot of big and fast rewards, right? And not that I take them out. I still leave the growth stock in there for decades and, years or whatever, but I like my money to kind of grow quickly. I enjoy that right now, in this season of my life. So you basically get to go through, look at what a growth investor is, an income investor, a value investor, and you sit back and you say, what phase of life am I in? What do I what kind of stocks or what kind of whatever would I want to purchase to make sure that it's in alignment with my financial goals? And so you go down to the bottom and you write your investment style. And guess what? Let me tell you the best part about this. It's your money. It's your life. It's your investment style. So if right now you say, hey, I'm a value investor, income, growth, whatever, and 6 months from now, you're like, you know what, that's not really that's not really in alignment with where I am now, 6 months later, just print out another one and change your investment style. You are not married to this. You are changing, you are growing, you are learning. As you do, you can change and change and change back and change again. And it is perfectly fine. Like, it is perfectly fine. You are going to be profitable either way it goes. So this is just a little workup to kind of get to know yourself, and then to determine what kind of investor you might be. This is the where are they now. So basically, because the report, this is another big thing. The report, I only keep two volumes live at the same time, right? So we're on volume 6. So if you were to look into Kajabi, where this report is housed, volumes 1, 2, 3, and 4 say archive no longer available, archive no longer available. And that always throws people off when they're new subscribers. They're like, why can't I have access to the old ones? I'm missing money. And I always have to say, listen, guess what? Something that's a good buy 6 months ago may not be a good buy today. I don't even want to confuse you and dangle the carrot by leaving a report up there that I produced 6 months ago or 8 months ago or a year ago, because I know, because I was once a new investor, that you're going to go in there and you're going to look at those stocks and you're going to buy something. And I have no way of controlling if that's actually a good buy still currently or not, right? And I'm not going to do that to you. I'm going to put what's relevant in front of you, because that's what matters. Where you start from here. We're not looking in the rear view, right? We're looking through the windshield only. Like, we're going up and we're going forward. So people have a tendency to want to go look at all the back ones because you think, oh my God, I missed a gem. I'm not letting you miss no gems. That's what I'm here for. So everything that you need that's relevant to your investments is going to be in your current report. So I'll only leave two live at a time. And so the reason I put the where are they now is to satisfy that desire of like, I'm missing something. You're not. Guess why? Because everything that's right here is from volume 4, right? So all of these companies were stock picks in like volume 4, volume 5. And I put them here to let you know, Valero, although we purchased it however many months ago, hold it. Don't buy no more. Don't buy anymore. Don't buy anymore. This one we've been purchasing for a while. It's time to sell it. It's not going to serve our purposes anymore. And when I say sell, it does not mean take the cash out. It just means sell it and use the funds to buy some of the newer picks, right? You just have extra money to buy newer picks with. This right here, but and you can take some of your profit if you want, right? I always make sure you sell still at a profit, but I know that we probably cannot expect any additional profit, so it's time to sell. This one is like, okay, if you want to go and buy some more, buy it, hold it, buy, hold. This is a where are they now? So you're never confused with past picks, like, okay, I bought this, it's sitting here, what the hell should I do with it? No, you get clear guidance every single report, right? This is the money, okay? So this is current stock picks. And I started off here by letting you know what these mean, right? So dividends are, like a dividend company is gonna be a company that pays you a profit every 3, 6, or 12 months. A value, again, is the stock is priced lower than it's valued, therefore giving you an opportunity to collect profit as the price moves back to fair market value, right? Retirement means that the stock is good to hold long term, right? So decades. Like, even if you sell some of it, you can hold on to this particular company for as long as you want to, right? Because this is a great retirement stock. And trends are typically me trying to satisfy your desire to purchase what you're seeing on Google, on social media, on Instagram, Facebook, or whatever. You're seeing everybody say, oh, you know, you get a lot of these pages that are like typically like the lime green and black, or the blue and black, and it's like, oh, all of these are dividend companies, all of these are this, all of these are that, and you're like, save, screenshot, but you really have no idea how to strategically place that stuff in your real investment strategy. Under trends, I like to go and say, okay, what are people looking at? What's popular? What names of companies do they know of that they might want to invest in? And I'll put those under trends, right? And the best part is that the stuff that has the burgundy little asterisk are going to be like a value stock, but it's also great for retirement. It's a dividend stock, but it's also great for retirement, right? That's kind of what's happening here. So this is the one that you can take a screenshot of or take a picture of or whatever you want to do, because this is the money, the current money, okay? So what we have here is as you can see, this is only 5 companies, and then the trends. I kind of consider the trends separately, but this is only 5 companies in between value and dividend stocks, right? So that's not a lot of different companies. So that's why I was saying it's kind of boring, because you're not going to get a ton of different stuff. But as you can see, I tell you why I picked it, right? So under value, I have US Bancorp. Why did I choose that? It's the 5th largest bank in the United States and the country's largest regional bank. This is us diversifying into like the financial and fintech space, right? Because we know that in times where loans are high, right? Like the housing market is really good. So they're producing mortgage after mortgage after mortgage. When those kind of things happen, that means stock in the banks and the financial companies are going to be very profitable for you, because you know that these banks are producing loans, a ton of loans, because you see that people are buying houses. When they say, oh my God, it's a seller's market. It's a seller's market in the real estate because people are buying. If people are buying, they're getting mortgage loans. If they're getting mortgage loans, that means these financial institutions are racking it up. So if they're racking it up, I want to rack it up behind the scenes. So I'm gonna buy stock in the financial institutions, right? And US Bancorp is a really great company to hold in your portfolio. I have the next one. I try to kind of I have most of my investments in the US, but I will also venture out into China, into the UK, things like that. So this is one that's a consumer goods staple. You know, I say that word diversify a lot, but you guys know how I feel about diversification. And so this one is a consumer goods staple, but it's from the UK, right? So they have Lysol, Mucinex, things like that. When I had COVID recently, the doctor literally was like, I'm going to prescribe you this Mucinex. So when I saw this company, I was like, okay, so they have Lysol, which is like super popular right now because of COVID. And then they have Mucinex. I'm like, this is going to be a profitable company, right? Because these are the things that they're telling people to go out and actively buy because of COVID. So that's a consumer goods stock. Then we have Next Era Energy, which is the world's largest producer of wind and solar energy, which, I mean, I don't really need to explain why that's a great company to have in your portfolio. This is one of them that would be an example of looking forward, right? So we bought this, it was super inexpensive. I don't remember how much it was, but this is a company that is filling the need of tomorrow and the next decade and the next decade, right? Because we are going green, we are moving into that direction. And if they are the world's largest producer of this thing that everybody in the world is going to need, I need to profit off of that, right? So then you're going to have dividends. I have AG&C Investment Corp. So this is a mortgage real estate investment trust, which is a REIT. If you guys know me, you know how I feel about REITs as well. This is going to be a REIT is a real estate investment trust, which is kind of like buying stock in real estate. This one, there's a lot of different types of REITs, and I'm not going to go into it because it'll take me forever. But basically, did I put it in here? It invests predominantly in U.S. government-backed residential mortgages. It pays a very high dividend yield and makes payments on a monthly basis. So you can kind of see why AGNC, and USB, the bank, and this mortgage REIT kind of go hand in hand, where you can kind of profit from everything that's happening, right? Because this is a mortgage REIT. Then you have Qualcomm, which is one of my very favorites. It's also a forward-facing stock, and this is infrastructure software. And so what it basically means is 90% of the internet traffic right now uses this. And so do I want to go into this? Probably not. But basically, you guys are hearing about cloud farms, and you see that everything is like saved digitally. Like I was telling my kids that I wanted them to watch Toy Story. And in my mind, I'm like, I'm going to go to Target and I'm going to buy the Toy Story DVD. And then I had to say, babe, do we have a DVD player? No, we don't have a DVD player. So what was the thing? They're like, my 10-year-old is like, Mom, really? Like, Disney Plus, you know, Amazon Prime, rented off of Amazon Prime. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you're right. People don't necessarily go buy DVDs because everything is housed in like cloud farms and like stored online. Like you don't need physical storage and things like that anymore because everything is like digital storage. And so Qualcomm is a company that created the infrastructure for like cloud farms and things like that. That's a way out there, but just trust me, it's profitable. Okay, it's profitable and it's going to continue to be profitable. And it was just listed on Bloomberg's like top companies to buy moving forward. And like, duh, we've been buying this for at least a year and a half now. And so trends, what I did this time, if you are familiar with me on social media, you know that I put out a list of like all the kind of forward thinking industries that you should be investing in, right? So it was like automation, robotics, what else was it, like space exploration and artificial intelligence and all these kind of things, right? So what I did here for trends, this particular report, I put artificial intelligence, electric vehicles and clean energy into the trend side, right? And I kind of wrote why I chose them and what they do. And then the next report, which comes out in November, you see this little post-it, this little posted here, it says the next report will feature robotics, automation, and space. Because under trends for the next report, I'm going to give you guys some really great stock picks for robotics, automation, and space exploration. This allows me to make sure you guys are staying up to speed and make sure you guys are buying stocks in your portfolio that will be profitable for long term. Long term. Kind of like when people back in the day was telling people to buy Microsoft and nobody understood AOL and the internet and Amazon and all this stuff. That's what's happening right now. We are in a transitional phase and we need to make sure that we are at the front of that trend and purchasing companies now that will make us very, very wealthy long term. So these are going to be the current stock picks, and this is how it's broken down every single report. Okay. The next thing is just an action plan. I find it's easier for me to really keep track of what I'm doing and why I'm purchasing certain things when I kind of make it plain and put it in writing. And so actually the action plan for me, every month I will typically print one off and just say, okay, this is what I bought. This is why I bought it. These are the companies, this is what I'm going to buy next time. And I just have them in a little folder inside my desk so I can look and be like, okay, what the hell did I do last time? Oh yeah, this is what I did. Okay, and what was I going to do next time? Okay, this is what I was going to do. And so when the new report comes out, it's easy for me to just navigate toward what I'm going to purchase, because the reality is you're not going to be able to purchase all of these stocks every single time the report comes out, because you want to make sure you're staying within your budget. That's very important to me. So maybe 1 month, maybe in September, you purchase the value stocks, right? And then the next month you purchase the dividend stocks. You don't have to purchase them all together. You just create a plan to where you're like, okay, I'm gonna buy some of these and maybe 1 or 2 of these because these are gonna be pretty inexpensive. I'll buy my value and I'll buy a couple trends, right? And then next time, I'm not gonna worry about the value. I'll buy the dividend and maybe a couple more of the other trends that I didn't purchase last time. And that's kind of how you just create your little plan going forward and stick within your budget. So that's that. So yeah, it just tells you like what category am I buying? Value, dividend, index, whatever. These are the ticker symbols that I bought. What category am I buying next month? And then when next month comes, you can kind of fill that in. And then you do the reflection part to say, why am I buying this? Okay, I'm buying this because when I looked in my portfolio, I realized I have a ton of tech companies. I have Netflix, Facebook, Google, Amazon, all of these in there. And I need some other stuff just in case this cloud, this technology bubble bursts. I need to make sure that all my money is not in technology, right? The reflection portion is saying, oh, I need to kind of diversify. That's why I chose these stocks this month. So that's kind of how I do it. This is a budget breakdown. So basically, if you're spending between $100 and $2,000 per month, I kind of just give you just some guidance, right? Like this right here says, this is not the end all be all, right? This is just guidance. Okay. Like, all right, well, if you're spending $100, buy 2 shares of this, 4 shares of that. If you're spending $300, buy 1 share of this, 1 share, 2 shares, 1 share. And it just goes down. If you're spending $2,000, buy like this. And that way you can kind of get exposure to everything. And then you can start to build on top of that. Right. The next thing is my calendar for my index funds. So if you guys know me, although I'm a risky investor, I'm also not a damn fool. So I like to make sure that I have a certain level of what do you call that? Just in case shit happens, like that thing. And that is what index funds is going to be. It's going to be that layer of okay, you've been a little bit too aggressive, but your index funds have your back, right? And so I literally tell you, okay, the January volume 2 came out in January. In February, go ahead and buy one of, like, choose one of these index funds or both and buy you some index funds. And it just goes like that, right? September volume 6 came out. October, I'm telling you, go buy you some index funds. November, volume 7 comes out. December, I'm like, treat yourself. Don't buy no stocks, go take a vacation, drink a little bit of extra, spend some extra money on that wine that you want or whatever it is that you want. We don't have to be super responsible all the time, like treat yourself, right? Or treat somebody else. And so this is just a little calendar, a little guidance. It lets you know how to do what, all that kind of stuff up here. And this is just through the end of the year. So I'm going to change it in January, but it'll look very similar to this. I'm just going to change up the index funds. This is a little quote. The amount of time you allow your money to sit in the stock market is far more important than the amount of money you invest into the stock market. I wish everybody would just really listen to me on that note, but I don't know. For some reason, people think that they need to start with this astronomical amount. It took me years and years and years to I started out just investing $20. If anything costs more than $20, I was not buying it. Then slowly, once I started seeing a return, I was like, all right, I guess I could spend $100 on something. And I just slowly started to work my way into it. You do not have to dive both feet into 12, into 12 foot of water right away. Like you can start at the shallow end and work your way up. This is just the information for our conference call. So if you are subscribed already, remember October 4th, we have a conference call and I'm going to go into all the new stock picks, why I purchased them, more in depth of what's going on with the stock market. I also do a full breakdown of gains and losses for every single stock that we've ever purchased in the report. So you can see, hey, are we winning? This is how much we're up or down or whatever. So I do a full breakdown during the conference call. This is the affiliate page, and it basically tells you get 15% commission if somebody signs up with your link. And the good thing about it is when it comes to money, and especially investing, you cannot force people. So you get super excited about it and you like, duh, everybody should be doing this. So you telling your girlfriends and your mom and your auntie, your sister, your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your whoever. And they like, okay. And you sit there like, why aren't you more excited? And you cannot force people into getting their money together. You cannot force people into being excited about investing. But what will happen as you start your journey and you just, you're doing more walking it than you talking it, right? People will just naturally start to gravitate toward you and say, hey, like, I noticed you've been kind of like making different moves. What you got going on? What do you have going on? What are you doing that's different? And they're like, oh, okay, so you really are investing in those stocks. Yeah, I really am. And then eventually they're like, well, how do you know which ones to buy? And you could kind of give them some of the game that you may have picked up, like, oh, I started here, or do this, do that. But eventually they're going to want to know more in depth. And when they do, you can say, hey, you know what? I have a link. I've used this investment report. You should sign up. If that's, if you're really, really interested in investing, you should sign up for the report. And let me tell you what that does, because you can easily be like, you know what, I'll share the report with you. I already pay for it, so I'll share it with you. If they don't pay, they don't pay attention. If I got out and gave this report away on social media right now for free, I would give it to 100 people and 2 people would buy something. Because people who are ready and people who are serious about their journey, they are going to make it do what it do. They are going to find a way to get the resources. I see some of y'all in here, you guys have been in PSIG with me. It don't matter what your circumstances were, you found a way to join PSIG, right? You found a way to invest in your journey because you wanted more information. So if you share it with them for free, just watch. It's going to piss you off even more because you're going to be like, girl, now I didn't share my report with you that I'm paying for, by the way. And you got the nerve to have had it for all this time and did not buy one thing. They're gonna be like, girl, I ain't even looked at it yet. You haven't even opened it and I shared my resources with you. That's what's gonna happen. So my point is that when they're ready and they wanna go further, you just shoot them a link. And you just know that if they're serious and they sign up, then you're gonna get paid. And it auto renews every 6 months. So every time it renews, you're gonna get paid. That's just how it's gonna go. So that's our affiliate program for this. And that's it. Okay, so I hope that you have enjoyed this presentation. I hope that it gave you a full breakdown of the STAR method and what to expect. If you have any questions, always you could DM me. You can shoot me an email at star@shebuildingher.com or info@shebuildingher.com to get in touch with either myself or someone on my team, and we'll answer any questions that you may have. If not, any of my social media pages and my website all have the link to the STAR method where you can go and subscribe and learn more about the report along with other services and products that we offer. And I'm going to stop sharing, and I thank you for joining and see you soon.